And just like Sneeko, I think she's a great creator.
Pearl?
Hold on.
Oh, Fresh, you need to step into your comedy bag, bro. I didn't know you was this funny.
You know what I'm saying? Drop a like, leave a comment, let me know you're in here. We finna have fun tonight.
What AL Logic's back with another one. Today we're going to watch a clip from the No Jumper podcast because he has Myron and Fresh on it. It's a 3-hour podcast, but I'm not covering that entire thing. So luckily with No Jumper, they put up clips with different segments. I might do 1 to 3 of these. I don't know, depending on how it goes and if it's interesting enough. But right now, this one is covering Myron and Fresh talking about Pearl's decline within the manosphere / red pill. See what they say, if they full of shit, because we know that they liked Pearl, then they didn't like Pearl, and then they was with her again because the red pill's falling apart, so they needed to get friends where they could. So let's just see where that goes. But before we do that, make sure you leave a like, comment, sub, if not one, then all 3. Now, let's get to the video.
Somebody else, though, who, they probably regret their decisions, of like transitioning to
Politics.
this path. And somebody who, like, y'all forgave, which I did. I don't quite understand why y'all forgave this person. Pearl.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So just walk us through that decision of, like, thinking about, okay, Pearl, like, at some point we were like, bro, you, we not forgiving you, but y'all.
Let's see how honest they're going to be, because we know he's going to have to dress it up to be acceptable, even though we know they were dying, so they forgave her.
Eventually, I think, like squashed it, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, like, look, I think there's always, at the end of the day, it's the internet. Nothing is really that serious. I mean, hell, I didn't like that you, said those things about me.
It's
But
nothing it's the internet. It's nothing that serious. Boy, you was threatening Andrew Schultz. You keep trying to fight ABBA. Like, talk about it's not that serious. You take everything serious, bro. You broke your glass.
Discussion now because I can speak with people that I have disagreements with. So I think that's very important to be able to have discourse with people you disagree with. And then for her, it wasn't the worst thing ever. Like, I think she had said something about she didn't like how I talked with her ex-boyfriend when she came, which I can understand why she would feel that way. But at the same time, we had just had that guy show up at the place, so obviously I was on edge. So
I
could
talking
see
about the angry reactions, dude.
Yeah.
The big ass.
Yes,
dude
yeah. She brought him there and she didn't tell me about it.
Got
Or she had spoken with other people on the team, but they didn't tell me, and she was supposed to tell me, right? But miscommunication, whatever. So I was like, dude, this is the end of the world. And she apologized.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, man, no big deal.
Now,
my issue with Pearl is more just the fact that I feel like at some point she just realized that she could just say the dumbest possible things on Twitter, and that would be like her path to getting attention on the internet. I feel like when I interviewed her,
she's really good at rage baiting on
she
Twitter.
was still sort of reasonable, and then at some point it became like every woman who gets raped deserves it. It's just like every day she's like, I swear to God.
Ain't no way. Oh, she didn't say that. Yeah, those words never left her mouth, but she more or less insinuates shit like that all the time. Whatever women is involved in, as y'all have seen me say before, they're wrong according to Pearl.
I have seen her say,
Come on.
It might not have been exactly that, but it's super close to it. Like,
exactly.
I've seen, it's just like every day quote tweet someone like, every woman is stupid. And it's just like, she's just like, I've never seen somebody so audience captured as her, where it just went from like,
look, y'all peep Fresh nodding over there. Fresh like, yeah, you right.
Seeming like maybe not the brightest person ever, but at least she was a person, to just being like a robot that had been programmed to just offend people for attention.
Here's where I think my talent
hit the nail on the head.
actually developed and flourished. If I was a manager, I can see before all happens to most creators. And just like Sneeko, I think she's a great creator.
Pearl?
Hold on.
Oh shit, Fresh, you need to step into your comedy bag, bro. I didn't know you was this fucking funny. Like, saying incendiary shit on social media doesn't make you a great creator. Sneeko, before he got into this shit, was making good, thoughtful videos. They're not the same at all, bro. Stop.
Hold on. Let me explain. By copying what's already been done. That's what
Did she stopped uploading when she got demonetized?
Yeah. Well, she still uploads right now.
Oh, she does?
Yeah.
And
but like, she stopped for like a month though.
She helped us in the UK. We were
She's live right now with 400 people watching.
There you go. With her studio. That was awesome for doing that back when she was popping.
Yeah.
So shout out to her for that. But on the other hand, I think she saw a space which she can enter in, copy the formula, and do her thing, which isn't a bad thing, by the way, because that's what a business person would do. However, long term, I don't see her having her original points of views to make it last that long, in my opinion.
No,
that same logic applies to y'all.
And she was like the darling for like a long time of like the red pill space, right?
To who?
No.
She was the darling of the red pill when she first arrived on the scene. But it was because she just kind of sounded like she was mocking Kevin Samuels. Like she was just taking his talking points, and as a woman, it was appealing to the guys that already consumed the shit. So they was like, oh, it's a woman saying this shit too. And we agree. And she was more or less a little bit more reasonable until it got to the point where women, everything they did was wrong.
She might have wanted to be. I don't think she actually was.
Debated like for however.
Look, I'll say this. I'll say this. She was able to get into certain situations, certain rooms that we wouldn't be able to get into as being a female. And look,
being
you know, well, that helps too. But like, you know, whether it's me that gets the message out there or her that gets the message out there, it's fine. It gets it out there.
Sure.
So I think that's very important. So, you know, we could have our disagreements and stuff like that, but I think in the greater movement and the greater scheme of things, her bringing awareness to this situation and hitting an audience that might not necessarily want to go watch us because we might be a bit more crass or more controversial. She may be able to convey that in another nicer way and bring some other people in.
It feels like we've seen so many people in the sort of like right-wing manosphere, whatever, like space who had a moment of attention on them, and then you look at them 6 months later and it just completely dries
another
up.
thing too that I want to bring to attention, right, that a lot of people don't know about is the Department of Homeland Security actually wrote a paper.
Damn.
Like they did a whole thing. You can Google it right now if you want, Adam, just so you know I'm not capping. Type in DHS Manosphere. And literally, they wrote a paper and they identified a bunch of influencers that were problematic in spreading hate. It was us, Pearl, Sneeko.
This is on the Congress.gov website.
Boom. So you know it's not. I'm not capping.
It's official.
So they wrote that paper, right? And they had a whole like a hearing on this thing on TV.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening was I noticed that all the red pill channels started like getting hit on the YouTube algorithm, not getting as much views and as much reach.
Yeah.
Now, with that said, Donald
Y'all shit not ad friendly. Of course it's not, bro. Stop acting like people out to get you.
Trump on day one signed an executive order to stop government collusion with big tech to censor people. So hopefully
you're not being censored, dipshit.
We can reverse that because that right there is the purest form of government intrusion onto American citizens to silence them and censor their ability.
Not on a private platform, dipshit. You keep trying to push this stupid ass narrative. This private platform can push out whatever content they choose if it's profitable to them. They don't give a fuck about your feelings, and the First Amendment has no bounds to Google and YouTube. Those are two separate things, my nigga.
To speak freely, and they're colluding with big tech.
It's not a collusion at all either. They fucking did that investigation on y'all because there's a potential of harm. They saw potentiality of harm to come out of it. Like, I'm so sick of them acting like that when the government pokes and pries to see what could be going on with something that seems a little bit extreme and could harm people, that they do something about it. Just like with the COVID vaccine, they keep trying to act like Mark Zuckerberg got pushed into a corner with guns to his face, saying, don't let the vaccine misinformation be on your platform. And they probably was like, look, people is lying. When you have that much influence, somebody has to check it. Like, I don't want us to live in a lawless world where nobody gets checked on extremism. Or pushing out unhealthy notions that could cause harm to people. Like, I don't want to live in that world. I'm sorry. Fucking sue me. I don't care.
Platforms. Then next thing you know, we get banned on Meta. We get banned on Instagram. We just lost our Instagrams like 2 days ago.
Again?
Y'all lose your Instagram
like
every week.
They're TikTok too, right?
Yeah, and then this is after Zuckerberg literally said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna allow more free expression." Like, what the fuck, dude? Bullshit.
Yo, what's y'all take on ML?
Because these are private platforms.
Okay.
MLK.
The declassification?
Because
wait, what?
I on MLK.
The declassification?
Because I think I heard like Charlie Kirk even speak on, even Pearl like posted MLK was a race baiter, he was bad. But then there's some more, I guess, like destructive shit coming out now where they claim that there's tapes of him in a hotel room, while the audio of him laughing while a woman is being raped by another like Baptist minister.
Oh my God.
This is what I'll say about MLK. Long story short, He was a communist.
Yeah.
He was a huge adulterer, smashing all kinds of girls.
Well, white women.
White women too. Doing orgies, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Right. The FBI had tried to blackmail him with this under the Hoover administration. So yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff is true. We'll obviously see the full story of his assassination, everything else like that when everything is declassified. But yeah, man, I mean, a lot of the stuff is true. So, we'll only see what happens. But this whole declassification stuff, bro, it's cat, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like the Epstein stuff.
Yeah, let me just point out all of the negative things I believe about MLK. I don't know what's true or what's not with his personal life. But I don't think any of that is going to tarnish who he was and what he did in history. Like, I'm sorry. None of that shit is cheating is immoral, but it isn't illegal, nor does it have anything to do with his advocacy for black people. Even if he was having sex with white women, if that's possible, if he was having orgies, if he's gay, like all of that shit is irrelevant to what he did. So I don't really give a fuck. And you saying he's a communist, if he was, is it still like, okay. Like maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, but none of that shit changes what he's done.
Huge fucking blunder on that.
Oh yeah, I see like the list, but the list was just like 70 something names or 100 names.
And hot take, I don't think anything is that interesting about this Epstein shit. Like, everybody's sitting back waiting for this big ass list of all these famous criminals. This shit, the reason y'all getting y'all chain yanked like this is because there's nothing to come of any of this Epstein shit. That's why they keep sending y'all off, and that's why they're trying to figure out how they're going to deal with the pushback when they declassify it, and there's nothing of interest in it. Or they're going to scrub everything that is interesting for the sake of, to let y'all, this is what y'all gets y'all off, is everybody is in a sex ring that's hurting children. Like, that's what y'all believe. So, whatever. I don't believe any of that shit. I don't think any of the shit is as interesting as y'all thought. Epstein got arrested for the crimes he did commit, but if we're gonna be logical about this, it's smart to get everybody involved with your criminal activity. You don't tell the whole world, all of A and B list celebrities, that you have an illegal sex ring with underage kids and think that you're gonna get that shit off for years, and a bunch of people gonna partake in it without ringing the alarm. That shit don't make no sense. Like, he probably did some illegal shit, period. Just because you went to the island don't mean you was there partaking in it.
I seen even like Trump was on the list, right?
All right, let me go ahead and
wait. Okay, there is no publicly available evidence confirming the existence of tapes of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. listening to a woman being raped. This claim originates from controversial and unverified summaries of FBI surveillance records. The FBI.
And why did it take the white man in the room to give a fuck enough to confirm this?
Closely monitored King as part of its COINTELPRO program, attempting to discredit him. Some reports suggest that FBI agents allegedly recorded King in private moments, and a 2019 article by historian David Garrow referenced an FBI summary stating that King may have witnessed or encouraged inappropriate behavior. So
yeah, well, here's the thing. Remember, they got to declassify it. They got to declassify a lot of that stuff. But the big thing, I'm guessing when the stuff gets declassified, what they're going to say is, "Oh yeah, we were investigating him because we thought he was a communist." Yeah. That was probably they're going to be their excuse as to why they're investigating him. But we'll see when it all comes out. But yeah, we all know that he was super sexually degenerate, but that's a whole.
How do we all know that? Where are you getting that from? Like, see, he just read that there's no confirmation of the shit that you just accused him of, but you like, yeah, we all know he was a degenerate. Fuck you, bro. Like, what the fuck?
The conversation. Now, when it comes to Epstein, let me go ahead and break this down for y'all very simply. This is what the American public needs to know that probably won't come out in the declassification. Simply put, Jeffrey Epstein was an intelligence asset for Israeli intelligence, whether it's Mossad or Unit 80.
Now everybody's linked to Israel. Oh my God.
200 or whatever. God. He was 100% Israeli intelligence. His job was to compromise people of influence and power that can basically blackmail them.
Fact.
Right? One of the things, so this is how the scheme would work. The guy that financed him was a guy named Les Wexner, right? This guy's a Jewish Zionist billionaire who owns a bunch of different companies to include Victoria's Secret. There was another guy named Jean-Luc Brunel, who was Epstein's guy who would get girls for him. Then there was Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell would go to the UN, and she had all these powerful people that she knew. She was like an environmentalist with the ocean. She'd go to these UN meetings. Oh yeah, let's care about the ocean, blah, blah, blah. But it was all a ruse basically to get around very powerful and influential people. They'd have parties. Her and Epstein would show up. they'd have all these hot Victoria's Secret models because Les Wexner owned Victoria's Secret. And also, Brunel was a model recruiter. So he would have women of age and women underage. So they'd be at these parties that have these of age women there. People are like, holy shit, this guy has hot girls.
That's all true. I'm not going to deny the Israeli connection stuff. I just don't believe it because Myron thinks that everybody is like covert ops for Israel and everything is a cabal. Like, I don't believe that part. But yeah, Ghislaine was recruiting over and underage women. That's why she's in jail.
Who's this dude? He's a billionaire. No one knows how he made his fucking money. He only had one client, which was Les Wexner, in his financier Rolodex, which was weird. But he'd be like, hey, you know what? You should hang out with us one time. You come to my house in Palm Beach, come to my house in New York City, come to my house in Nevada. I got a ranch over there. Come to my house in France. He had, or my island. He had all this money and all these places. So they'd show up. Next thing you know, there's girls there that are underage, give him massage and all this other stuff. Now, you guys might be wondering, well, hold on. How did he recruit these girls? Well, back in the early 2000s and even before that, what Epstein would do is there were high school girls all over Palm Beach, and he would recruit one to do these massages. And then every time she would come, he would kind of like escalate it. And then he'd pay her a couple $100s and be like, hey, do you have any friends that you go to school with?
I remember this from the documentary, yeah.
Boom. So he'd recruit, basically had a whole ring of girls that were underage. They would do these massages, and they would go to his house and service his clients and everything else like that. So that's how he had the girls. Now, he actually went to jail for this. Palm Beach and the state arrested him for this. Now, the FBI did investigate him, but what ended up happening was the United States attorney for the Southern District of Florida, a guy named Acosta, he was told to stand back because Epstein was intelligence. And one of the things that Epstein would do is he would compromise these people and blackmail them. So like Bill Gates is one of the known people. What he would do is be like, hey, Bill, this is what you're going to do. I need you to donate money to MIT, to their tech program. They donate money to MIT, in his name, of course. He would be there to oversee all the new technology and innovations they would get. He would take those secrets and give them to Israel. Because Israel has been stealing technology from us for a very long time. They have some of the best intelligence assets and best military because we fund them a lot. And the Mossad is very cutthroat. Literally, their motto for many years was, by deception, we create war. They're the kings of false flags, right? And blaming it on Arab countries and using the guise of terrorism. So he was stealing technology from U.S. universities that Bill Gates and other wealthy people would donate on his behalf. Wow. So that's just one example of how he would do it. But that's how the scheme worked. Wow. Now, the reason why they don't want to declassify this, because they're going to expose a lot of people in the Jewish Zionist lobby. That's why. A big reason.
Well, we got Myron full of shit once again. That wasn't too bad. Might do another one, maybe not. I don't know. But you got to take shit Myron say with a grain of salt, especially if it involves black people or if it involves Jewish people. He's biased and he doesn't give a fuck about any other facts around it. You see Adam pulls up that there's no proof of any videos or any of those activities. Like I said, we all know COINTELPRO was a real thing. So it all makes sense that they were just trying to tarnish MLK's name to make him less of a figure in history and society at the time. So take all that shit with a grain of salt. If it don't make sense, really look into it. Don't just take it at face value because Myron is serious and he used to work for the Department of Homeland Security and all that shit. He's just another one of these people on the internet lying because it works and it helps him get by. That's how MAGA thrives and survives. But if you made it to this point in the video, make sure you leave a like, comment, sub. If not one, then all three. And I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.